welcome to another Campfire Session presented by Encamp. I'm your host, Brandon Barlow. Today we are talking safety, safety, safety. It's going to be really good, and our topic today is how to build a strong safety culture. Our guest today is George Nelson. He's a certified safety professional and safety manager. So welcome, George. How you doing, man?
What's going on, man? Doing all right. How's it going?
Good, man. I know some of my coworkers are kind of jealous of me as we watch your daily videos, man. We like it's something we look forward to, and I like how you're reaching out and just giving your perspective and insight on what safety is. So, can you give us a little bit of background on yourself and a little bit about where you work?
Okay. Yeah. So, Indianapolis kid. I grew up inner city Indianapolis. Played football, all city. Went to Tech. Walked on at Indiana State University. But then it got to a point where I couldn't balance both at the same time. So I fully committed to safety management, Indiana State University. I tell people I barely made it through high school. So I graduated high school with a 2.1, 2.3. Got into ISU academic probation, but I've always I've had discipline through athleticism, through athletes. I've learned leadership. I've learned everything through athleticism. So I was able to just put that energy into school, and I graduated Indiana State 3.2 GPA. But got out 2013 was originally with Coke Industries. I think I was with Coke Industries for right around 4 or 5 years. I started out Georgia Pacific, pulp and paper mill, was transferred to anhydrous ammonia facility, dealing with highly hazardous chemicals. And I've had a ton of experience in my career. But I think one thing that has made me successful is just I come from a genuine place. I'm real with people, and that connects. It's weird, but it really connects, no matter what environment it's in. So that's really made me successful, man.
Yeah, no, it absolutely connects. Because I'm excited for our viewers to see your passion as you talk about safety and what it means to, make sure someone comes home every day. That stuff. I mean, that's very important. Just a little bit about
we make
me.
toilet paper. We're not going to war.
Yeah,
we make
exactly.
glass bottles, and it's crazy when you really think about it, man. But yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just a little bit about me. I kind of cut my teeth on the environmental side, but even at my last job, I did do some field work, and I was jumping out and on train derailments. There's heavy equipment. I mean, you could, there's stuff that can definitely kill you out there. So just knowing some safety people, they demand respect, and I think that's one thing you grab that comes across on your videos as well. So let's start from the very, very top. So why is safety so important to companies?
So I think first of all, you got the workers' comp perspective where you lose money. But I think the second thing is I'm a firm believer that healthy people are safe people. So when you got people's health safe in order, productivity rises. Maintenance rises. It helps everything across the board. So honestly, I feel like that's why a lot of companies have got on board with safety, because you see production, morale, everything increases when you have a focus and you can get safety right. I mean, it's one of those things. It affects everything.
Absolutely. All right. Let's stop real quick before we go. I'm facing the other cameras. What's on you?
Oh,
there you go.
That one.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I got my thing right here. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
My first job. I'm not on here very much. My screen is actually broke on this camera too.
Oh, so now you're just looking into a blank screen. Okay, I see what's going on. All right, that's fair.
Oh, shit. Okay.
All right, we'll jump back in it. So as you tie everything in, that's exactly right. Like, safety is multifaceted and it's very important to companies. So what does the term safety culture mean to you?
So, in my opinion, safety culture are the decisions and the choices that are made within the facility. Because, I mean, you have everything's about choices, and your choices become habits. your habits become behavior, and your behavior is the culture. So that collective behavior is what you try. That's the culture. That's what you're trying to create. So in our reality, safety is about choices, make decision making, make building thinkers, and getting people to not just live in the moment. Because in our reality, it takes extra effort to do it right. Safety is
Absolutely.
not one of those things where no, it does take extra effort. It's it's gonna slow production down. It may be. So it's getting people to just make those decisions on a day-to-day basis. Um, that's really what it's about. It's decision making.
Yeah.
Honestly,
And kind of moving on from that question, as far as like kind of taking it up a level, can you have a successful company without having a successful safety culture?
I don't think you can because um, what I feel, I value people first, and people drive success. People drive culture. So just like football, I look at my facility as industrial athletes. So if you're not taking care of your industrial athletes, they play on the field. You know, I mean, in simple terms, they play on the field. So you can't do that if you're getting people hurt. You can't. It's impossible. If you get people hurt or maimed or killed, it's one of those things where everything else doesn't matter. So that's the perspective that I take, and I also feel like we're not going to war. The products that we make is just like no. If it takes somebody having to get hurt or killed to make toilet paper, it's not worth it. It's just
Fair.
not. And you just got to connect. It's just connecting people, because it gets lost sometimes.
Yeah, 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 it does get lost. I sometimes I see, when you get kind of comfortable and complacent in a job, you can forget about the safety aspect
Mhm.
and kind of walk through your day. You have to be really
Yeah.
cognizant about what you're doing.
Or
So
or the point where I'm checking the box, I'm wearing fall protection,
yeah,
but I'm not thorough enough to make sure I got the right lanyard. It's going to activate before I hit the ground.
right.
You know, it's a difference between check the box and really, hey, I know why I'm doing this, and that's why that's the kind of mentality you gotta build in people.
Absolutely. I like checking a box and get you hurt. That's just simple
Oh
as
yeah,
that.
I mean seriously, yeah, yeah.
Absolutely. So how do you create a safety culture? I think I got a good idea, but I want to hear it from you. How do you create a safety culture at your company?
So I think one, um, I continue to push. I look at my people as industrial athletes, and especially this year, I've made a huge transformation. It's just like I firmly believe you have to merge wellness and safety together, because if you don't have healthy people, you're not going to have safe people. You can't. I mean, it's hand in hand, and I start to. I wanted to not preach, but I didn't want to preach and not live my words. So I think that's number one. So in my facility, they're family.
Yeah.
Like it's unorthodox, but everybody follows me on my social media. So they understand. They see me from January 1st, waking up at 4:30 and going in and working out before I came in. So now it's like, okay, they can come and talk to me about fitness or water intake, or they feel more comfortable. And in a roundabout way, I get to deliver my safety messages through the videos. So that's
Yeah.
how I'm talking to my facility. It was a roundabout way, but in the pandemic, you have to get creative in the way that we deliver messages, in the way we get messages across. Because I can't stand in front of 20 people and talk to them and have real conversations.
Yeah.
So it started out kind of with just a way for me to connect. But I think that's the key. So building awareness, making sure people are aware. That's probably the biggest thing. Me training and having those real conversations with people, and then just living my words over time. They seen, okay, I'm not just preaching. I'm not just talking. I'm living the things that I'm talking about. And it's contagious.
Yeah.
You know, it's weird, but over time it's contagious.
That's interesting idea you said about, hey, we're working from home. Some people are working from home. So you kind of getting your message out through the social media because you've already made that connection back in the office. I like that. I like that a lot. And so as far as turnover, like how do you handle new employees? Like what's your first thing you do? You got somebody new coming on site. What's the conversation look like with you?
So new employees are the most at-risk employees in the facility.
Oh yeah.
So I'm a firm believer. You spend time up front. I spend 3 to 4 hours. If it's one person, instructor-led safety training, I'm up like it's a crowd of 20 people. You know, I want to look them in the eye when I tell them I'd rather see you at home than in a body bag for breaking lockout tagout violation. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I want to get to know them. I want to make sure they understand. I want to, especially it's like the first day is the most important day of your career.
Yeah,
So it's
for
like,
sure.
yeah, I'm not only training, I'm training, but then I'm telling them something. Then let's go out to the field. Let's identify some hazards. Let
Okay.
me connect you with the safety champions in the facility. You know, I spend a lot of time up front with new hire orientations. I think it's one of those things. A lot of times, I've seen safety managers check the box
Yep.
when it comes to new hire orientation, but you can have the most influence because these people are the greenest to the facility and culture. I said it's about choices, behaviors, habits. If you get them with the right people right off top, you know, they never forget that. And you're always a resource.
Yeah, for
So I
sure.
go above and beyond. My new hires is weird, but it's just like I go above and beyond, even if it's one new hire.
So sounds like to me like not only are you putting your arm around them, but you're really kind of bringing them into your world and also gaining that trust so they know exactly
Mhm.
what to expect from you. And you got the ability to be able to talk to them like on a level that some people just can't.
They should feel like family. They should be comfortable. They should know the basics. They should. I like to build relationships where, if I don't know your name, I'll call you brother.
Right.
Because honestly, I feel like that's the relationship you have to have, especially in these environments to be successful. I gotta be able to call you out, but then also know that it comes from a place of love. And that's not, and that's not you still need to be able to come and tell me. We still love each other. We may not
Right.
like each other, but right now, it's that type of mentality that you gotta create. You
Absolutely.
know?
At the end of the day, you're in charge of making sure everybody's safe in that building. So by any means necessary, really.
Mhm.
So as far as this idea of the industrial athlete, where'd you come up with this, or did you get it from somebody? Look, just kind of go in depth in that.
Oh, so it's crazy, but I get messages better when you kind of put it in those terms because everything I've learned has been from athletics, from football, my
Yep.
mindset. Like I gave my life to the sport. Everybody don't make it. You know what I'm saying? Everybody don't make it, and it's like that industrial athlete. We're literally it's the same type of environments, same type of hazards. I mean, it's just that it's one of those things where too is just like if I can tap people into looking at themselves as athletes and
Yeah,
taking care of their body, it naturally starts to take care of everything else. So it's it's a piece where I just understand better when I can break it down to I can connect it to the football field
yep,
or connect it to athletics. And in our reality, we're industrial athletes. I work in an
absolutely.
extremely hot environment. Whether you like it or not, an athlete plays 3 to 4 years, your career is 45 years.
There you go.
So, if you're not taking care of yourself, you're not watching what you put in your mouth, you're not hydrating properly, how can I really expect you to do anything else? And it's not going to matter as far as safety if you're not doing that. So I don't know. It's that piece, that team sport, that team that you get from sports and that mentality, it just goes a long way.
Have you seen let's say an employee just not really into sports, doesn't really buy into the industrial athlete? Have you seen that? Has anybody not bought into what you're putting out?
Um, so definitely, but I
Yeah.
wear on them over time.
Okay, there you
Don't
go.
stop. It's just like
Right.
for me, you cannot say something to me. but I'm gonna say something to you every day.
Right.
I'm gonna know your name. I'm not gonna quit, you know. And I think over time, it's like I preach, but people see me living what I'm talking about. I walk around with a gallon of water because I want people to drink water. And
Yeah.
it's weird, but just those things, they work. And I have definitely gotten that. But I think over time I wear on people, and then honestly, I get to know them.
Yeah. Yep.
So how many safety managers you know? I let the whole facility, Facebook, Instagram. I'm not hiding anything. You know, it's just like they're family. And
Yeah.
I think over time, it's just if you have one person that's not on board, but you have 30 people around them, that's all connected. It's weird, it's contagious. It's
Yeah,
just
for sure.
naturally they come to the surface. They get on board.
Yeah, exactly. And if they don't get on board, then you move on. Like that's just part of it, right? That's just part of the game. So have you ever been at a company? You don't have to name my name. Ever been in a company where you don't have support at the top? You know,
Mhm.
how does it work if it's not top led safety?
So I think it's important.
Yeah,
It is really important to have your leadership have operations uh, engaged. But if you don't, I think you can still affect culture. You can affect culture safety training, making people aware. You may not have the capital, but you can make people aware of all the issues in the facility.
yeah,
You can have real conversations with people about safety. You can do stuff for people, and that on that one-on-one level, because I've been in positions also where, I'm fresh out of college, 22, 23, 24,
yeah,
and I
absolutely.
didn't have no respect. I really didn't know, so it's one of those things where I focused on what's in my control. I
Yep.
can train people. I can make people aware. I can have real conversations. And that's what I lead by. Even if I can't get the capital, I don't have the other support on a one-on-one basis, I can get out and go talk to people. I can be there every day to where they see. I'm constantly there. So if
Absolutely.
nothing else, that's in your control.
Yeah, it sounds like you got like a kind of a hybrid based approach to how you kind of attack safety. But one of the things I'm used to at a previous company and a couple previous companies is this idea around behavior based safety, and that's like a lot of writing stuff down, looking at what the problem was, and then getting steps into how to correct them. But one of the criticism about that is that some people are like afraid to step up and say, "Hey, I am hurting. I've got an injury." What do you think about behavior-based safety?
Mhm. So I like the concept behind it. And I
Hmm.
have seen behavior-based safety work, but you can't forget about the why.
Yeah,
Why you're doing the program. So it's in our reality, it's about having real conversations with people. It's about people not afraid to see something, say something, do something. That's what it's about.
yep,
So one of my things is I I have my leadership make conscious efforts to go have conversations, have real conversations with people about a couple of topics, or watch somebody work. And then even if they're doing good, give them good feedback.
yep,
But just have those open conversations, that open dialogue. And one of the things I've done is I make sure that I convey to every contractor that walks into the facility, every new employee, every employee, you have stop work authority.
yeah,
That's the only thing in your control. If it's something you ain't got the warm and fuzzies about, stop and I at least owe you a conversation. Let's have let's at least have that, at least allow me to have that conversation. I'm not saying that it's gonna go your way.
yep.
I'm not saying that we're gonna do something specific, but let's have that conversation and see what we can do to mitigate the risk. Or I'm you shouldn't be let me know as soon as you're injured.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
I mean, my main goal is to take care of you. I don't care about the recordable injury rate or nothing like that. But I let them know that blunt. I'm that blunt when I'm having these conversations with people. Look, let me
Absolutely.
know if you need something.
Nice. I like that approach actually because I that behavior base sometimes does get into this culture where if something does happen and I'm not fully 100%, I might not say anything because I don't want to lower our numbers. Like you said,
Hmm.
you came out and said, "Look, I'm not worried about that. I want to make sure you're okay, so we can go to the next day."
Hmm.
Good,
Oh
good.
yeah, yeah. And I have a model where I'll pull kind of like from the concepts of behavior-based safety, where you have leadership consciously going into the area on 2 to 4 times a month and looking at employees' work and having real conversations. But it's not, I worry more about the conversation and the one-to-one, and that I know my leaders will at least at a minimum step up and say something. I don't
Absolutely.
care if you're writing it down or not. I want to know that. So yeah, that's the most important thing to me.
So, do you believe? Do you believe in like safety incentives? So, let's say we did this for so long, we get this kind of prize. Do you believe in that kind of thing?
Um, I've seen it work,
Okay.
but in my opinion, I like more so like the safety calendar contest, where
Okay.
you have a monthly contest. You get them to go home and teach their kids about safety, and then and participate, or the Catch the Rabbit program, where you have them actively in the facility looking for hazards or looking for people that are not following the basic safety rules. I I like more specific things. Like we had a safety March Madness competition where for the month of March, you got 1 point for hazard ID submitted, 2 points for safety work orders complete, and 3 points for training completed.
I
But
like
you
that.
see, the team that won got the prizes, but it was something specific.
Yes.
I think that's better because you do get the okay. I'm not going to report this because I know it's going to affect the recordable rate. You know, uh, we haven't had an accident in this long, so I'm not going to report it because I don't want to mess up our accident rate. That's why
Exactly.
I don't need accident rate is not my concern.
That's good. That is a refreshing take and something I like to hear because it's been a focus on some other places that I've been,
Mhm.
and it does create that culture where sometimes people just don't want to step up and say something when
Oh
they
yeah,
should,
yeah. No, seriously,
for sure. So
incentivizes the wrong behavior.
yep, yep, exactly. So what are the some of the telltale signs that a company or organization has a good safety culture?
um, I think one of the simplistic things is the blocking and tackling, or is everybody wearing PPE?
Hmm.
You know, fall protection. What does their fall protection look like? Does everybody have blocks? You always start with the blocking and tackling and safety, and really just making sure people are doing the basics. And then also, what I feel like, if nothing else, I want people speaking up and saying something. If you see something, say something. If you say something, do something. That's the key to a good safety culture. If people are not afraid
Yep.
to step up and say something, and we are looking out for each other, you can't lose, and you have to have that before you put any safety program in place. At a minimum, you have to have that. So
Absolutely.
those are the two things that I kind of look for. I start with the blocking and tackling, the building blocks of safety, those golden rules,
Yep.
and then I try to make sure at a minimum, not just me, people when they see it, they're holding each other accountable. I'm not gonna walk past, but I can't be there at all times.
Of course.
I'm a resource,
Of course.
so you gotta have gear your frontline leaders up with look whatever you need, but this is what we need to do.
Good. So for our safety managers out there, if you could give them a couple, just a short tips on how they can create this strong safety culture, be more like Jordan Nelson and his crew.
Learn names.
Mm,
Start with learning everybody's name in the facility. I said it. Research names like you do OSHA standards.
yeah.
I make sure whenever I go in somewhere, I understand names. And even if I don't know your name, you my brother. It's family. It's weird, but it builds on people from day to day. I would say also be present, be available.
Yeah.
You know, I got an open door policy. I make sure I check in at the beginning of the day. I'm in the break room feeling the pulse of the facility. I'm eating lunch with people,
Yep.
especially in the, operations break room. I'm at least going in there to fill my water bottle up. I'm there at shift change. Those key moments, you don't have to be there all the time, but 30 minutes at the beginning of the day, 30 minutes at lunch, it raises your presence.
Oh yeah.
And the last thing I would probably say, I'm a firm believer, train like an athlete for the game of life. So anybody can start with just wellness and being your words and living a healthy lifestyle.
For sure.
People naturally gravitate. It's going to naturally grow your influence because people know you care about yourself, and you can't care about somebody else until you care about yourself. So
those are great tips, George. I really appreciate you for joining us, man. Our viewers are gonna love to see this. George, how can I get in touch with you?
So what? Facebook, I'm George Nelson. LinkedIn, George Nelson. Instagram, Mr. Hustle While You Wait. So yeah, contact me. We can build. I'll reach out to anybody that reaches out to me because I'd love to help.
Absolutely. George is also putting daily videos on LinkedIn. Please check him out. It's always good. I always look forward to watching him in the morning. If you want any more information on Encamp, you can come visit us at encamp.com. I can be reached on LinkedIn as well. And if you like this video, go ahead and subscribe to our video on YouTube. All right, guys. What's good for business is good for the environment. Thanks, George.